That should do it. Microphone out of my face. Out of my face. Hello. Alright, should be live. As soon as it's live, let me know that it is live and we can get started on this really, really nice Thursday today. Hope it's nice where you guys are. It is gorgeous outside here. We're going to be going out to a pumpkin patch after this, so I'm really excited. Yep, it's live. Alright, we're good. Cool. So, just as a forewarning here, UPS may show up during the stream, and I may have to run to the door to go and grab a box that's coming from Germany. Of course it's coming from Germany. Why wouldn't it be coming from Germany? I don't know. I'm interested to see it. I think I have the adapter, because I told you guys one of the pedals I was going to buy was, when we were talking about the Harley Benton, the mini pedals that were like $20. I told you guys one of the pedals I was going to buy was the fuzz. And the fuzz needs the red tip, the negative adapter on it. And my quad Cortex takes up 4 ports on the Chiox power supply. And then I have the 2 Strymons and the Drive Master. So there's no room on that. I'm going to need an external, or a separate power supply rather, to power that thing. But I'm really interested to see how a $20 fuzz pedal is going to hold up. Really going to see. I think it'll sound pretty good, but will it be as good as the ones that are in the quad Cortex? That's what we're going to find out. I don't know. I'm excited about it. I got a few of those little pedals. Obviously, when I saw how cheap they were, I was just like, yeah, you know, that's not something that's going to crush me. So I might as well do it. Hey, Mike. Musical Boy, you're the only one I don't know your name. You're in here all the time. You have to type your real name. I don't want to just keep calling you that. And James, as always, hello. Did you watch the Knick game last night? Crazy game. I have to say, just watching the energy of the crowd was intense. Remind me of days past, seeing a packed arena with people screaming and all that fun stuff. Yeah, take it for granted. But other than that, yeah, no, this one, yeah, it's German. I thought you typed germanium. This is not a germanium pedal. This is a silicon-based fuzz. I think one of them is a germanium, but I don't really like germanium fuzz pedals, so I didn't opt for one of those. All right. So, did you guys see Gibson did the same thing they did with the Jerry Cantrell? They made a Chuck Berry for like $6,000. But I don't think this one's Murphy aged. However, they made 100. I think 20 go to America and the rest go to Europe and the Middle East, because I guess that's how they do things, Gibson, as far as when they're making collectible items. And then on top of that, I normally criticize them for doing guitars like that aren't attainable and are in such small numbers. They made an Epiphone Lucille, which I didn't even look at the price on it. Not going to buy it, but I didn't look at the price on it. Rowan's there. Hello, my friend. Oh, of course they're joyous. Just like, what's the other brand? Moor? Mooer. I think they all are the exact same pedals, but they come in different housings with different brandings, and surprisingly at different price points as well. Hey, Robbo. Super Fuzz from Amazon. Yep. Unless you're a Celtics fan, well, we don't like Celtics fans. We don't like Boston, we don't like Philadelphia. No offense to anybody from those places, but I don't dislike Boston as much as I dislike Philadelphia. I loathe that city. Not a fan whatsoever of Philly in any aspect. But yeah, I mean, it was cool. I don't get to watch a lot of sports anymore, so it was nice to watch a little bit. And you know, obviously the team that I followed as a kid won, so that's a win-win for me. But going back to this, I'm actually going to see how much this Epiphone, the Lucille, is. Epiphone Lucille. Let's see. I'm guessing 800. $950. $950. Okay. So it comes with one of those faux hard shell cases, at least. It's not a hard case. It's like a hybrid between a gig bag and a hard shell. $950. I don't know, man. I would never do it. And I know on the stream, I'm not going to talk about Joe Bonamassa as far as how I feel about the guy himself, but I saw that guitar, that Les Paul, the newest one that they made for him from Epiphone, was I think $899, and I got a hearty laugh out of that. But guys, we really are hitting this point where new guitars, if you want anything like legitimate quality, because like the Harley Benton, that's a nice guitar. There's nothing like wrong with it, but it's not like a top quality instrument. If you're starting to look at top quality instruments, these prices, man, you would be an idiot, in my honest opinion, or you just have more money than you know what to do with, to be buying any of this stuff new, because there's no value anymore. Especially because the used market hasn't caught up to this yet. Not fully. You could still get on Dave's and on other places like Parkway. I keep telling you guys where to get these things. And Marcus, I was just talking about the Knicks and you're late. I was really happy. Julius Randle. What a game. But when it comes to these new guitar prices, if you're paying $950 for a Chinese made 335 style guitar, first of all, why you would buy this guitar over an Eastman is beyond me at that point, because those sell used at Dave's flat rate $899 for a T386, and that guitar has American pickups, much better hardware on it, a real ebony fingerboard, much better quality control on it. They're better instruments. They're not mass produced. So over $1,000 after tax for an Epiphone Lucille. No, not for me. Always buy used. And yeah, I see American Standards, Telecasters and Stratocasters right now. I'm looking at two under $900. Les Paul Studios from Gibson, American made, under $900. So this whole pay $1,500 for $1,550, is that even what the going rate is for a studio? I didn't see how much that went up. Let's check real quick. Or did those stay the same? $1,600 for a Les Paul Studio nowadays, you guys. I don't even think those come with hard cases. I think those come with the bags too. They do. $1,600 doesn't even get you a guitar with a hard case. I have to give Fender their credit on that one. Out of the big three, you got Gibson, you got Fender, you got Paul Reed Smith, as far as American companies, right? The PRS guitars, this is where it gets outrageous. This is the one thing I hate about Paul Reed Smith guitars. If I have one complaint, it's this. You buy a CE24, now they're $2,300. You're still getting a gig bag. This Les Paul Studio, $1,600. It's a glorified gig bag. At least the American Professional Telecaster and Stratocaster and Jazzmaster, you get a hard case. I think they're the same price too. I think they're $1,600. Let's just double check. American Professional 2. Check a telly. See where they're at. I like to be positive when I'm talking about this stuff. $1,500 for a regular one. I'm looking at one in Dark Knight, and yes, that comes with a very nice molded hard shell case. So of the three brands that I just mentioned, Gibson, Fender, and Paul Reed Smith, the only ones that you're going to get a hard shell case on a affordable American guitar is going to be from Fender. That's crazy. All right, Gavin, I got you. Cool. For $1,000, you can go an interesting boutique guitar. Yeah, you could get so much stuff for $1,000, man. And if you want to spend a little more, like I sold Tim that Edwards guitar. That guitar, he spent less on that by a substantial bit than he would have if he bought a new Les Paul Studio. And it's an infinitely better guitar. Comes with better hardware on it, better appointments, better quality control for sure. Like, this great instrument. It sucks. But we in the grand scheme of the way that inflation is working right now, the guitar prices aren't that bad yet. They're not as bad. They haven't fully adjusted. somebody did an interesting kind of mathematical equation on it on the gear page, because somebody was making a comment about how the PRS guitars went up, and they basically did the normal inflation rate right now for a typical commodity in this country versus the price increase from PRS, and it was actually less. So, I mean, you can't blame these companies for wanting to charge more money and having to charge more money in some aspects. But that being said, it sucks. It's not cool. All right, let me see here. But no, I'm really excited to try these little pedals. And you wouldn't think so. I like cheap stuff. I don't know. I find it strange that you have to either love like super high-end stuff like Sir or Fender Custom Shop or Gibson or whatever, and you're not allowed to like cheaper things like Harley Benton or a $20 fuzz pedal and stuff like that. Like, I have to be like above that. I don't believe in any of that crap. I just think if something sounds cool and it's fun to play with, whatever, man. Doesn't matter what brand makes it or how much money it costs. At the end of the day, it's about you having fun and making, crazy noises. So, all right. For Gawk. Never heard of Gawk. Oh, shipping is a joke. Don't even get me started. I sold both Mustangs, the Japanese Mustangs. Both of those sold. And I sold the pink Stratocaster. So 3 of the 5 guitars I have for sale have sold. And it was substantially more money than it was this time last month to ship those guitars. And apparently in 4 days, on the 25th, is when it's going to go up even more. So I don't know. I'm not one to tell you, like, rush out and buy something right now. Just know that the rates will go up and the prices are going to go up accordingly. And I'm not just talking about me. I'm talking about it's going to be everywhere. And what I'm interested to see is how long Sweetwater, well, maybe not Sweetwater, but, some of the bigger brands, store-wise, are going to be offering free shipping for the ongoing kind of future here. I don't know. It's not very profitable to be doing that right now with these rates, because to ship to California with a business discount, because obviously I shipped through my business account, that was, I think, $130, when normally that would cost me between, depending on the value of the guitar, say it's $1,000 guitar, between $60 to $70. So double, roughly. Not good. Not good. Not good at all. What would you buy, though? I'm going to put you on the spot here, Gav. You would buy so much gear if you had $1,000, but you're a broke high school/college student. How are you a high school/college student? That's my first question here, before we even get to what you would buy. Isn't it one or the other? I know you can take college courses in high school, but never seen it referred to like that. I like the way you think, James. Oh, guys, I gotta show you that. I'm gonna load this up. So, you guys know I like my custom colors. You guys know I love Fender Jaguars, and you guys know my favorite color is the one that I got the Telecaster finished in. It's Taos turquoise. Okay. So let's see if it'll let me do a screen share of this. Chrome. Is that it? Come on, you can do it. There we go. And show. Okay, so this guitar came out for sale the other day. Now, first things first. This is the exact same guitar that I have, minus the color. The exact same guitar. $4,750. So I would have spent $2,250 more. No, I would have spent more than that, because I'm not getting this without tax. Ooh, I would have spent like $2,500 more to get the finish I wanted. So going back to James's point here, I think my Tahitian Coral Jag sounds infinitely better now, considering I spent well less than half of what the other color of the same. It's the same guitar. It's literally the same guitar outside of the finish. So I just found that interesting. But when I saw that, I was like, oh man. I was like, why couldn't the one that I bought been this finish in this color? But you know what? What am I gonna complain? Nah, nah. But there's no way in hell I would spend $4,750 on any guitar. That's too much money, man. That's too much money. I don't know. I thought that was a fun video too, where I asked you guys your take on that. Let's see if Gavin's had a response yet. No, he hasn't. He's typing. He's typing. Oh, Rowan, there's no way. I don't have $4,750 in the guitar account right now to spend. We have a guitar that shipped from Dave's Guitar Shop yesterday, finally. This is the one I've been telling you guys about. It will be here on Saturday, but I can't open it until Sunday. Now, you figure that one out by yourself. PSEO student stands for post-secondary enrollment. Oh. There you go. Yeah, so it's kind of like what I said. You get credit for both. That's cool. All right, so now you got to answer the second question. And I'm going to ask that to all of you guys. If you had $1,000 right now, what would you buy? You can name anything you want. Would it be one thing? Would it be a bunch of things? Just make some lists. Let's see what y'all got on your radar here. Yeah, $4,750. I keep looking at that number just in awe. $4,750 on a Jaguar. Maybe if it was like an actual 1963 Jaguar that was refinished in Taos turquoise, if that was a refinish for that price, we might be in trouble. The other one might be for sale and I might be buying it. But for the same exact guitar, it's that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. You could buy 2 custom shops used from Dave's, where I get them from, for that price. For less than that. So, yeah. Just food for thought. Prioritize a decent amp. Well, what amp? What amp? I was thinking about that. I got to bring the Music Man. I got to bring it somewhere. Because the reverb unit, there's something wrong with, not the unit itself. The actual tank is fine. But when I put the reverb past 3, it makes a really high-pitched tinny sound, which is not normal. So I'm thinking there's some sort of connection issue. But I tried different cables, and it's not the cables. So I need an actual amp tech to look at it, and I'm not going to take apart a vintage guitar amp. I'll work on guitars all day. Electronics, as far as the amps go, no, not doing it. The Surf Breaker, I was just looking at one of those. I saw one of those used. But I'm not importing from Japan right now because it's double the price. Really sucks. Those are really cool. I'll bring it up. So, see, Michael knows about the Japanese stuff. Not many people know about the Japanese stuff. There'll probably be none on reverb if I had to guess. So I'm going to have to go somewhere else. No. Oh, no, there aren't. Well, they make one of these in a Cabernita style. All right, let's bring back the screen share, and we'll have a look all together, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So this isn't the one. I didn't know that they made them like this, with the kind of Cabernita style to them. I don't love that finish, guys, but I like the style of the pickguard, Nagano, where they held the Olympics. Very interesting guitars. And the traditional version, just a little bit more money. Slightly. Just a little bit. But they sound really cool. They sound really cool because you get a real P90 in the neck, you get a humbucker in the bridge, and you have the Telecaster for the bridge itself with the saddles. Really, really, really cool tones out of that guy. And I think that has the traditional scale length on it. I'm fairly sure. But definitely a different sounding guitar to a Jazzmaster. And then you have other versions. This one has the straight up Telecaster bridge. Really cool. With the pickup mounted in it. Kind of looks like the S2 line, with how the body is like mounted on top of the body, only a bit more pronounced on the Bacchus. Double single coil. Oh, that back. It looks like it has some oil from the ocean that leaked into that finish. Beautiful grain of wood, though. Almost looks like two eyes. Doesn't it? Like demon eyes. Cool guitars, man. Really cool guitars. Guitars made of Japanese red pine trees that were forced to be cut down. See, that's so cool. That's something I'd be interested in. That's something I'd be interested in. What do you guys think about those? Let me catch up here. Okay. Yamaha ACR. Cool. That's a good choice. Yamaha makes great stuff, man. I love Yamaha. A Bogner amp. Don't we all want a Bogner amp? Find me one for $1,000. It's not a mini, though. We'll talk about it. He's not going to be able to. Okay, you'd buy a Tremonti, a Katana, a wah pedal. All right, you can get the Tremonti for $500 at Dave's. You could get a Katana, $200. Dunlop cost you $80. You still got $200 to play with. You need a tuner pedal. Don't forget your tuner pedals, guys. A Reverend Warhawk and a couple more ferrets. You know, my wife is on me about either another kid or another dog. She wants another one of something. And, you know, us guitar players, we get a lot of crap because we always want more guitars, more pedals, more amps, right? Yeah. Do they stop me from getting sleep? I mean, some nights when I'm lucky enough and I have the time, I have the inspiration, I can sit up and I can play them, but I'm not forced to be awake. And I'm not forced to be woken up. Kids and dogs. You don't have a choice. And are a little bit more expensive. In the grand scheme of things, a Gibson Custom isn't that bad when you compare it priced next to a child and how much a child would cost, or a dog. And I realize how cold and callous that sounds. I love my dog and I love my kid. But man, I miss sleep. I miss uninterrupted sleep. God, don't take it for granted. If you're somebody that's not in a position where your sleep is compromised yet, enjoy every second of it. Especially you, Gavin. I know for a fact that you don't have to worry about any of this crap yet. Toughest thing you got to do is wake up to an alarm clock. It's not so bad. You'll be all right. Yeah, James, that guitar is gorgeous. I kind of want to look at it again. Talking about the blue one, right? I think you're talking... if I had to guess, I'd say you're talking about the blue one. Make it bigger. Yeah, man. Look at that thing. It almost looks like a fish. The scales, like, that's so cool, man. All right, what's this? What's shop? Oh, Taiwan. There's nothing against Taiwan, but I don't have any connections in Taiwan. If this was a shop in Japan, I would have turned on my VPN. Actually, I couldn't have because I'm streaming right now. But I would have turned on my VPN on the laptop, and I would have seen if this shop would have given me a better deal if I bought it direct. But Taiwan, I don't think we're going to get a deal. So we're not doing that. Gorgeous instrument. See, why can't we make cool stuff like that here? And don't tell me about like the government series or any of that, or the BFG Les Pauls. No thank you, sir. No thank you. A Mesa Boogie amp. You can do that. Well, that's going to take up your whole budget. You can get a used Rectiverb combo for around $1,000. It's the only amp you'll ever really need, though. Those are really good. Let me see here. There's a bridge lifted off my Alvarez. Whoa. Man, people that don't work on acoustic guitars, I don't envy you. I'm not a fan of working on acoustic guitars, especially the wooden bridges. You don't have margin for error. If you crack something, you've destroyed it. It's not like a screw, you know. You had 3 dogs and a guinea pig. Put one down in August. Now I have 2 dogs and a guinea pig. That's sorry to hear that. We recently, well, not recently, in the past 6-7 months, we lost a dog. Suddenly, too. He was young. He was like 5, 6. big old dog. Looked like the dog from The Little Mermaid. Shaggy guy. He just fell down one night, and turned out he had really bad cancer, and yeah, they put him down. So that was pretty sad. But yeah, I mean, these things happen. And here I am with a rabbit that won't die. And I don't say that hoping she dies, but the fact that she's still alive, I consider it to be a miracle. She's 11 years old, traveled across this country more than the majority of the people that I've ever met in my life, and she's just still just running around, causing a ruckus, chewing through shit. It's amazing. It's really amazing. Okay, so what else did I want to get to? I talked about why I don't buy new guitars. And I think most of you are on the same page as me. And, once we start really looking at some of the deals, you can understand why. The Chuck Berry Gibson, $6,000. I don't even know if there's any more of those available. Those are more like, I don't know. I don't play with Bitcoin and stuff like that. Obviously, the margins are potentially much higher if you do that. But I feel like if you get one of those guitars, you've made at least $1,000. Not just the Chuck Berry, but the Jerry Cantrell, the Chris Cornells, all those guitars, because they make them in such limited numbers and for, artists that a lot of people love. They're foolproof investments, similar to every January when PRS makes the special color for their Silver Sky. If you get one of those, you're good financially. But then you'll have people in the community that say you're a monster because you're scalping. And I have mixed feelings on that depending on who it's coming from. Like if you're a major pedal maker and you're only making 300 of these things and you can manipulate the market, so to speak, in many ways, and then you're mad at people that are scalping things when you can, kind of control that, I don't really love that. Not really, Romeo. I mean, depends what you're looking at, but we were just looking at examples where they're better. The pricing's still there. All right, so argument's sake here, let's see what they have at Dave's right now. If there's anything too good, I'm not going to load the screen. Filter by type. Electric. Will this work? No, not pedals. I don't care about pedals. No. Not that I don't care about pedals, but that's not what we're looking for. It's not what we're looking for. Their filter system is off. Okay, so I'll load this into OBS so you guys can see. Okay? So, go to Dave's. That's some strange stuff. All right, American Standard HH Strat, $750. That's an American Standard. It's made by the same people to the same standards as an American Professional too, half the price. Haha. Single coil American Standard Strat, 1993. That was 1 year before the anniversary Strats. Under $1,000, $900. What else do we got here? Anything of note? The G&Ls, they're good, but they don't hold their value as much. The Heritage guitars, those are normally $3,000, $2,000. That's not bad. I believe there was a Jeff Beck for $1,400. That's not terrible. Let's keep going here. Yep, see, look, back to back here. Les Paul Studios, $900. Look at the finish on that. That's a really nice finish. 7.8 pounds, too. It's light. And it has a hard shell case. $900. Just because reverb is expensive doesn't mean everywhere is expensive. Okay? That's a killer deal. A 401, that ESP LTD Gold Top. That guitar, I believe, has DiMarzio pickups in it. If you look at a new ESP EC256, those guitars come with pickups that I consider very mediocre. Those are $550 new. This guitar, $400. And yeah, is it DiMarzio's? Yep, the 36th anniversary DiMarzio PAFs, $400. The deals are out there, guys. The used deals are out there, and this is the place. This is a place I highly recommend. That's a very interesting guitar. That Pawn Shop Offset, those were very popular, but they only made them in two finishes. This is the by far lesser of the desirable finishes. The one that everybody wants is in shell paint, but I see those sell for $2,000 on Reverb, which is, I don't know, man. That's a little much, but yep. S2 Custom 24, 1150. Those are up to, I think, 1900 new. Not bad. Yeah, there's stuff out there, man. There's stuff out there. A Starcaster, that's still overpriced for a Starcaster. To me, at least. I don't like Starcasters. But if we go to just in, because I'm actually going to get different results. Yep. A 2408, 650. That's not the best deal in the world, but it's not bad. And Zach Myers, $600. Timothy has bought from this shop. He will continue to buy from this shop every day. I feel like he's sending me a message on Instagram saying, I can't believe this deal. I can't believe this deal. And I think I'm going to drive that guy to be broke. Let's see what Parkway has. That's a decent price. I don't personally have interest on that, but that's a decent price. Yeah, their Les Paul Studio is $1,100. That's a bit much. That guitar, that Player Telecaster, I think sold for $499, so that was a good deal. Obviously too good because it already sold. Yep, American Special HHS, $900. So the moral of this story, guys, is the market is not great on Reverb. But if you go to forums and you go directly to these shops, you'd be foolish not to at least put in the effort. Do what I just did. Spend 15, 20 minutes checking out some stuff. You'll save a lot of money. Because if you're in the market for an American Strat, for example, let's just mention that guitar for a second. If you wanted one of the ones that is a new from Fender, we saw that as $1,500. You get one of the ones that I showed you, even if you don't want the HH one, all right? We'll throw that one out the window. That one was $750. You get the $900 American Standard. That leaves you with over $600 after tax. Buy a really nice pedal and then pocket the rest of the money, or buy another amp. Buy an amp. No, yeah, Romeo, I share all of these sites with you guys. And that was the point of the video I made the other day. I want you guys to save money. I really, really do. It is actually doing me a disservice. Genuinely, it does me a disservice to show you guys some of these sites. It does. Because that's more people that I have to compete with when I'm shopping for guitars sometimes. And when I see a deal, that's just more people added to it. But at the end of the day, like, I don't want people to get ripped off. I really don't. So if I can help you make a better financial decision and get an equivalent, if not better product in the process, saving money, if I could share that and help you, I think I've done a good deed. All right, let's catch up on some comments. Oh, kidney failure. Oh, that sucks, man. We just spent like, you don't know. We just spent a few $1,000s on hospital bills for all three people. I'm the only one that's fine. How does that work? I drank nonstop. I drank every day for years. I smoked cigarettes. Granted, I don't do any of that stuff now, but I'm a healthy one. Go figure. Reverb is a shit show. I like how YouTube tried to censor that. They asked me if I wanted to hide that or show that comment. I absolutely will show that comment because Reverb is a shit show, and I don't recommend anybody ever buy a guitar there. 900 is enough to make a Warmoth guitar? Yeah, it is. Pawn shops. You know, I have been hearing about this supposed new guitar wave, or the new wave of people that bought guitars at the beginning of the pandemic all selling them. It's yet to start. It is yet to start. Granted, I'm sure there's been a few here and there, but the flooding of the market, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. But I am going to be filming a video, and the only reason I haven't done it yet is because what I want to do is go into pawn shops and barter with people and see if anything is good for sale locally. I don't think they're going to let me in with a camera. So I'm not sure how much fun or how much amusement or enjoyment or entertainment you guys would get out of me like filming myself pulling up to a pawn shop, not being able to film myself inside of it and then leaving and kind of like giving a recap of obviously if I bought something in there or what they had and what the prices were. I don't know, because I'm not, I don't want to piss anybody off in pawn shops. You guys have been to pawn shops. You know that some of them are pretty hardcore about their security and all that stuff, and rightfully so. They're an easy target for a lot of people who might not be great people. So I can understand why they wouldn't want you casing the place, so to speak. But it's something I would like to do quickly, right? Yeah. Thanks, Raf. Welcome in. Haven't seen you today. The Pawn Shop Mustang was a really cool Mustang, man. The Pawn Shop Mustang. Now, here's the problem with that guitar. That guitar was made in China. So, at the time, I remember a musician's friend, they had a closeout on those for $299. Now, this guitar came in either Sonic or Daphne Blue and another color. And it had P90s in it. Real P90s, not Jazzmaster pickups. I always thought that was pretty cool. The other Pawn Shop Mustangs, if you weren't talking about those, came with humbuckers in them. Now, those were not Chinese. Those, I believe they were Mexican, but if they were made in Japan, it wouldn't shock me. And those have gone up in value a lot. They're hard to come by. I think they're like $1,400 bucks. It'll be a huge flood of mostly beginner guitars. Yeah, I think that's the problem, Mike. For people like us, it's not going to be, open season. I think if you want to start playing guitar, there's going to be a billion affinity strats. And, the $100 to $200 slash Gibsons that come with the amp and all that stuff. Oh, the Epiphones, rather. That come with an amp and the cable and the stand. You'll see a lot of those things. Yes, the made in Japan, the wide range pickups. Yeah, those came with the humbuckers. That also came in Lake Placid Blue, and I believe Candy Apple Red. Not sure if they made a 3-tone Sunburst in that model, but those were cool guitars. I played one of the Lake Placid Blue ones. Very interesting when you play a Mustang with humbuckers in it. Not my flavor, but it's pretty cool. What type of stuff is there to do in Tampa? I mean, you're with family. We've already established that. And you're not old enough to drink. And I don't advocate for underage people to partake in things like that. But Tampa, I mean, you got a nice beach out there. And drive inland a little bit. You find some cool stuff. You got Busch Gardens. You got a lot of touristy stuff. But as far as like cool in the know places, I don't spend enough time in Tampa to give you a perfect one. Also, I have a lot of weird knowledge with Fender guitars in general. Like, I remembered that they were Mexican and Japanese. I couldn't remember which, but yeah, they were both. But I do remember the colors. I remember those very specifically because I thought they were very interesting. You know what is really cool from that Pawn Shop series are some of the amps. The Vaporizer amp sounded really, really good. It was a little 2x10 amp. I think it was 10 watts. Don't quote me on that. But it came surf green, Daphne blue, or a bluish. It's a very, very brightish blue. And a red, more like a Fiesta red as well. Really cool amp. Reverb in it. Hard to find now. But those were amps, again, that you could get for $300-400 all day. People didn't want them. And a lot of those pawn shop guitars, even the pawn shop offset guitars, they were not very popular at the time. There was a lot of those guitar of the day, big deal of the day, musician's friend. That used to be a big thing. I'm sure it is now still, but I haven't really shopped there in quite some time. But you'd find a lot of those pawn shop guitars. And the last one that I'm thinking of, while I'm thinking of older Fenders from that era, guitars that blew up in value that I cannot believe blew up in value, they made Vegas themed, like sparkle finished Telecaster Deluxes that had the humbucker in the bridge, or the humbucker in the neck, and I believe some of them had a single inner bridge, some of them had a humbucker, like purple flame, gold flame, like a burnt orange metallic flame. Those guitars, you couldn't give one of those away for $400 made in Mexico. Now I think they're over $1,000. Let me see. Okay. Let's see if there's any on Reverb. Telecaster Deluxe. I don't remember the actual name of the model. Oh, I found one. All right, that's one of the sparkles. All right, let's load it up on the screen. I'll show you guys. Here's one. Yeah, and again, this has an offer on it, which means somebody offered at least 64% of that price for it, meaning if you got one of these on one of those musicians' friends, can't give it away for the day, $300, $400. I mean, it took you a long time to get triple your money back, or quadruple your money back, but you did. Yeah, they had these in all sorts of finishes. All sorts of finishes. Telecaster Deluxe Sparkle. Look, classic vibe sparkle from 1033. You guys are out of your damn minds. I gotta see it though. I gotta see it. Pedroso, you, my friend, are a lunatic. You are a lunatic. You got one picture of a mass-produced Chinese guitar that you're trying to get over $1,200 for. Oh, man. Good luck. Good luck, my friend. You are going to need it. Yeah. So those are the other guitars from that era. There's a bunch. There's a lot of cool FSR stuff out there on the used market. I was really big into that stuff for a while. There was a color called, I don't see it very often, Tropical Turquoise. And they made 62 Stratocaster reissues in that Tropical Turquoise. And I could have gotten one of those for $1,000. I'd be sitting pretty fat if I kept onto that and I bought it. Tropical Turquoise. Let's see if there's any for sale. Although I believe I just spelled turquoise wrong. I should have the college kid help me out with this. Yeah, the Eric Johnsons, those came in that, but there are none. There were none of the 62 reissues. I bet you they're $3,000. I bet you. That would be my guess. Oh, I thought I had the screen loaded. My bad. You guys were just looking at me staring at the computer. That's awkward. Anyways. All right, let's catch up on some comments. All right. Looking at Jimmy's inventory. Squire Miller Lite logo. A Miller Lite logo. I don't know how much value that's adding to a guitar. If anything, I think that's the reason that's $200. But Jimmy's had a, I don't know if they still have it. They have one of the mid-2000s Japanese blue flower Telecasters for $1,000, which compared to Reverb pricing is not bad. It's not the best deal, but not bad. You know what? I'll show you guys this too. While I'm just showing you where I buy all this crap. All right. Let's see what they got. Let's see some prices. I did not expect this stream to go in this direction. Just telling you guys. Okay. Mexican Telecaster with USA reissue pickups now. Is this a standard or is this a classic series? That's a classic series. That's a classic 60s. With American pickups in it for $600. That would be substantially more on Reverb. At least $200 or $300. So that's not a terrible deal. Anything else jumping out at me? Look at that. An R7 gold top for $3,000. I gotta know. $39.90. Is that the cheapest one? $39.90. Let's not play the guessing game. Let's go to low to high. $34.50 But how much does he want to ship this thing? Okay, so 3450, 35. 3500. Yeah, I mean, yep, save a few $100 on that. The deals are there. The deals are there. Oh, a Johnny Mayer. Hates sunbursts, but yeah, that custom shop, that's cheaper. No, that's not a very desirable finish for a lot of people, but that's cheaper than reverb. Oh God, what have I done? What have I done? Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop spazzing out! Why are you doing this? Come on. There we go. All right. So second page, yeah, R9. That's more appropriately priced. R9 for $5,000. That is much more in line with current market. 87 Les Paul custom for 32. If that doesn't have a headstock repair, that guy's out of his mind. It doesn't. It doesn't have a headstock repair. Oh. Guys, I don't want to do this right now. My internet is terrible. All right, so electric guitars used. And I swear to God, if Epiphones show up here, I'm going to be not the happiest camper. Low to high. Okay. Custom light? That's a guitar I like. Now, I don't like it for $3,000 though. That was those guitars were $1,500 before the pandemic started all day. Now they're double that. As far as actual customs, fair condition. We're not even going to click on that. And another custom light for $3,000. That's so nuts. That's so nuts. They're all custom lights. There's no actual customs. There you go. That's overseas. That's overseas. What about in America? Classic custom. That's not a real custom. All right, so $3,800 is the cheapest one. Black in America, $3,850. Jesus. All right, let's stop looking at guitars. I'm sure you don't click on these streams to watch me browse through websites, so I apologize for that. All right, picked up a 2006 made in Mexico Strat with a rosewood fretboard and electron blue body for $475. I love that electron blue. That's so cool, man. In the late 90s, they made American Standards in that electron blue. Or was it a chrome blue? I can't remember. I just remember those were very similar shades. And I always wanted one of those. Very striking guitar. And you get real rosewood. You don't get Pal Ferro when you did that. So great job. Very good. I saw an Epiphone guitar from the 80s that legitimately carved in the shape of the USA. There was a lot of those, and even in Japan in the late 90s, Epiphones were able to do that. When they stopped making the Orvilles, that's what they started doing. They started making them Epiphones instead. So the same factory, Fujigen, who was making them, and the Tarara factories too. They were the ones that were licensed to make the copies for Gibson, not copies. They were the ones that were licensed to use the body designs for Gibson. For the Japanese market. So when they would sell their kind of ones there that were a little bit different, obviously you guys know I like the Orville guitars. I think they're very good value for money as long as you're not buying them on a reverb. I think you're getting scammed on reverb. But if you know where to look to find them, and I've shared some of that stuff before, but after they were transitioning from Orville, they went to Epiphone next. And that's where the Elises began. Those are really just Orville guitars. Made in the same factory by the same people. Just a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of stuff, just in case you were curious about it. Yeah. Okay. Not sure. I think I hit everything I wanted to hit. Do you guys have anything you'd like to talk about? Do you have any feedback on any of this stuff that I've done this week? Or anything that you'd like me to to address going forward. You know, I try to listen to people, and tomorrow's video is going to be me doing something that a few commenters asked me to do that I did not particularly want to do, but it'll make sense then. But in general, you know, I try to cater things to things that you might actually be interested in, that, you know, not all channels will focus on. Because I mean, isn't that the point? If you wanted to hear my take on Adele or anything like that, I mean, there's plenty of other gigantic YouTubers. You can click on their channels and hear all about that kind of stuff. So I like to think that we can kind of be more specific and more, you know, outside of the normal for the kind of content that I make. So anything, all the time. All the time. What's your favorite Japanese pedal brand? You know, what I used to do is, whenever I would order, I would order a guitar from Japan, I would immediately check their used pedals as well, because then, you know, it just goes right in the box, and you don't have to worry about extra shipping. But if you just order a pedal by itself, oh, it's not cheap anymore. It's very expensive. But my favorite fuzz pedal of all time is by a Japanese company. Where is it? I'll see if I can find it, if there's any for sale. They're hard to come by. And yes, I realize again, I am looking at the screen. No. There's none for sale. Alright, well, let's just look up at Google. I'll share it with you guys. And if you guys can find it, and if you are interested in a fuzz pedal, that is amazing. I recommend it. Alright, cool. Baby life advice. Guys, I am looking up for a guitar pedal, and the first result is Baby Life Advice, a website. That's very interesting. Okay, apparently it's not going to come up. But I can't pronounce the name of it. It's Lectique. Lectique. Sounds very French for a foreign company, for a Japanese company, but yeah, they make awesome stuff. Audiomo, is it possible to put a Bigsby tremolo onto any Les Paul or copy? Yes. It can be done. Some are easier than others, depending on string spacing and if it has the original nut in it, because the main thing, let me grab mine. The main thing you got to keep in mind. I was practicing with this guy today. We were practicing for a gig. So, main thing you got to keep in mind here. Everything from where the Bigsby mounts on all the way through to the top of the nut, that's got to be straight all the way through. If you have any sort of angle that's not correct, you're just going to have a nightmare with tuning issues. Now, what I like is they make the Vibramate. The Bigsby makes not Bigsby, but there's a company called Vibramate that's an adapter, right? So if you have a Les Paul style guitar and it's just got the bridge and then the hardtail right here, what you do is you unscrew this right here. The Bigsby sits on a piece of felt, not too dissimilar to this one. This one's on felt too. You replace the stop bar. This will go where that goes, and then it feeds right through. So it'll go right onto here, all the way up. You have no other modifications to do. This will be a direct swap for any Les Paul that is built from a manufacturer. Now, the only exceptions to this are if you build a Les Paul on your own, or you get one that, you know, maybe it wasn't built the best as far as quality control goes, and this pin is not in the center and doesn't line up, you might have to re-drill the hole in the bottom of the guitar. You can still make it work with the Vibramate kit, but there's nothing inherently too difficult about adding one. And the reason why I like using the Vibromate kit and I recommend it is because it's 100% reversible and it requires no other screwing into your Les Paul. And yeah, in an ideal world, it would be something that would be totally reversible, which is in the Vibromate. Whereas if you actually hard mount it onto the top, I'm not a fan of that. At that point, there's no going back. If you don't love it or you want to resell the guitar, you are selling it in the condition that it's in, period. No way around it. So, yeah. Thanks for the question. Bigsby's are cool, man. All right, so let's go up here. Let's catch back up here. Just pass through the channel is great. Thanks, Romeo. Appreciate that. Okay. A Trem setup vid for the Fusion 3. Yeah, no problem. We can do that. That'd be an easy vid. That'll take me about a half hour. Bought and used Arbor guitar. Looks like an Ibanez. I've heard of the brand. I have heard of that brand. Let me see if one of the big boxies, and by big boxies, I mean, no, none there. Come on. My internet sucks. You know, you spend all this money on internet, and things just don't work. Oh, yeah, I've seen those before. Yes, I've absolutely seen those before. I've never played one. I'd like to. All right, so let me see here. Can't imagine how much shipping costs. Dude, don't worry about shipping. If you're not buying and selling guitars, or you're not in a rush to sell a guitar, sell it locally and wait it out. Don't ship a guitar right now. Terrible time to do it. Yeah, the shipping killed Tim when I sold him that Edwards. You got the rock and roll down. Don't know about commenting on sex and drugs. We'll leave that as it is. Do you have any thoughts on the Harley Benton HB35 Plus Semi Hollow? I owned one of those and I did a full review of it. I'll tell you what I think about it, but while I'm doing it, I might as well plug myself here. And I'll link you the video. So in case you want to watch it after the stream is done, I had full thoughts of it. I like the neck on it. I thought that the finish of that guitar was stunning. I got it in the plum metallic. Harley Benton. It's a nice guitar. The problem I had with that guitar was going to be, if I wanted to switch the electronics on it, that was going to be a pain in the butt. The nut wasn't great on that guitar. Honestly, that was probably one of the worst cut nuts of any of the Harley Bentons that I've gotten in stock. The overall playability, though, acoustically, it was good. It was actually surprisingly good. When I first did the demo, the nut worked a lot better because I guess the strings were like the correct gauge for it. But when I took my files to it afterwards and I installed my own stuff, I actually replaced it with a different nut. And I had these, which I still have to this day, Tone Pros. I had a Tone Pros bridge on it, and I had Grover tuners that were thrown onto that guitar. Played great. If you can get one of those, they did have the split coils. I didn't love them, but I mean, it's nice to have. And yeah, I thought they were pretty cool guitars. I think they're really hard to beat. And if you had to ask me if I was going to pick between that or an Epiphone 335, I'm taking a Harley Benton all day. Yeah, those Arbors were 80s and 70s, believe it or not. They made some of those in the 70s. Yeah. The thing is, not a lot of people have the right tools to file a nut. What you need is, see, at any given moment, you guys, this is not an exaggeration. I have pretty much any part or tool I have. These are just right in front of me. These are nut files. Now, there are some YouTube videos that will tell you you can use different things to file nuts. And while in a pinch, I would agree you could do that, it's not ideal and you could potentially do yourself more harm than good when you use those cheap things, such as the torch tips that you can get at Home Depot, Lowe's, or any hardware store. Because once you go too far on the nut, there's no going back. I mean, you can at that point you can kind of fill it back in with graphite or something like that, but yeah, I'd rather just use the right tool the first time and be done with it. My number one guitar is my Custom Shop Jaguar. That's my favorite guitar. Definitely the Jaguar. Second would be the Gibson 339. But it has been a long time since and I get a lot of guitars. It's been a long time since I got a guitar that I couldn't put down. Like really couldn't put down. And the only reason I've been playing the Gold Top, it's awesome guitar. Really, really cool semi-hollow. Because we're working on a gig that's just straight up clean tones. And I wanted to see how the P90s would fare. Granted, I don't think I'm going to take this guitar on this gig. But I just was curious how I was going to handle just straight up cleans, and it's doing a great job. Lovely tone. I'd be interested in a shoot up between that guitar you just had in your hands against an Epiphone ES335. It wouldn't be a contest. Wouldn't even be a contest. The Epiphone would sound like a toy compared to the ES Les Paul. And the other problem with that is the size difference. Because that one is the size of a regular Les Paul, the ES Les Paul, whereas the 335 is substantially bigger. I did a video with the 339, the Gibson 339 versus the Gibson ES 335. You should watch that video. That's a much more appropriate comparison because both of those guitars also had humbuckers in them, whereas this guitar has P90s. So if you want to see me compare a 335, a Gibson 335, to the Gibson 339, I did a video on that. But I highly doubt you'll ever see an Epiphone 335 or any Epiphone on this channel probably ever again. Yep. Easy nut swaps to the next guitar innovation. Yeah, they're already easy, man. They're easy. You loosen the one. Some of them, the nut will just pop right out because a lot of these companies, and some of the bigger ones I'm not going to name, they don't even glue them in. So when you take the strings off, the nut will just pop right out. So you do that. You put in the new nut. You make sure the height's right. There's enough tools online to tell you. Basically, you need a sanding block. Make sure that you're doing it to the right height level. Put it in. Get yourself a set of gauges that are appropriate for the set of strings that you use, and why I do use only one gauge of string for all of my electric guitars, because then if I have problems, it's all universal and setting them up is all much easier. I did not expect to go on this tangent. Did not expect this. But you guys asked, so I'm happy to oblige. I had a CE24. I sold it. I thought the neck was too thin. I'd like to get a Core Custom 24 that has the pattern regular neck on it. That I would like. But I mean, after playing this Harley Benton, I don't know. And I'm not saying the Harley Benton's better than PRS. I'm not crazy. I'm not one of those people. But that kind of need for a 24 fret guitar, I don't know. I don't have it. Yeah, you would think so, Andrew. You would kind of think so, but it's one of those things where the design of that, it's meant to be glued into the guitar because you don't want moving parts, especially parts with the string. That's why it's important. A lot of the higher quality bridges that you're going to find, like on Les Pauls and stuff like that, they're all going to have ways for you to secure the bridge so it's not sitting loose. You don't want any extra movement. You don't want friction. Friction is the enemy of sustain. Friction is the enemy of tuning stability. So in an ideal setup here, you want everything as tight as possible, as little movement. Yeah, so as far as what the nut goes, you want it to fit snug and you want it securely in that space between where the fingerboard ends and the headstock begins at the bottom. One of those things. So I think that's the main reason we have not seen a height adjustable nut tech, because it would be tricky. And also you have to consider that the materials made from those, the cheaper guitars will have plastic or synthetic bone, which is, guys, it's plastic. Graphite, some brass even. And yeah, just regular bone. So it's materials that are a little bit different. I fear chunky necks. Why do you fear chunky necks? Don't you play a Telecaster? You play a Telecaster and you're afraid of chunky necks? Rowan, you're a strange lad. You're a strange lad. Likes modern bridges and Telecasters with paper-thin necks. I don't know. Different strokes for different folks. Floyd Rose. I have only ever owned 2 guitars with the Floyd Rose. I currently do not. One of them I want to rebuy one day. It's too expensive. I want a Core ESP Horizon 3 in the snow white. I sold that guitar. I had the E2 version. I sold that guitar at the very beginning of the pandemic when my wife and I were both told, like, you're not allowed to make money anymore. Have fun. And I was like, oh shit. I don't know how many months we're going to make it here. So I'm going to sell off some stuff. And that guitar sold off. Really sad. I love that guitar. Thanks, Phil. Thanks for coming by and checking it out. I mean, we've just been looking at guitars and showing you guys that the used market, I beat you over the head with it. But I feel like it needs to be beaten over your head. If you're in the market for guitars, shopping new should not be your first avenue to do so. Just shouldn't be. Not in my book. But like I said, I'm used to what I'm used to. Yeah. You're a funny guy, Rowan. You're a funny guy. Maybe you know what guitar you would like then? You need to try the hybrid from Japan. I think you'll like that. Either a hybrid Telecaster. You know what? Don't buy another Telecaster. You have one Telecaster. You don't need more than one Telecaster. Do you think the move to stainless steel will see a 0 fret comeback? Maybe. It's potential. Although, people are really hard stuck in their ways, man. You know? I think it has a chance to, but I don't think it'll be a big movement. I don't think it'll be a big comeback, rather, not movement. However. All right, guys, I got time for one more because I have to sit. This is the only thing I don't like about doing these streams. I'm one of those people, I don't like watching myself. And I know that sounds weird because I spend a lot of time editing all my videos every day, obviously. And, making stuff for YouTube and streaming. But in general, I don't like watching myself after the fact. It's strange. But I have to timestamp all of this so that the people who aren't watching the stream live, they can have a list of topics that we go over and kind of click and choose things that might interest them. And that takes me the full length of the stream for me to be able to do that. So I basically have to rewatch this for another hour. I've never owned a 7-string guitar. I'm not going to rule it out. I just don't have any interest in it. I don't play any genre like that. The Fender Made in Japan Modern Jazzmaster, I have. Is badass. It's not a Jazzmaster. Do not get that twisted. It's the shape of a Jazzmaster, but that's not a Jazzmaster. That is a mean humbucker machine. Telly's tool. The Telly's too. They look like Sirs. Rather, the Sirs look like them. Very cool guitars. You can get one of those used for $1,200-$1,300 if you know where to look. Best paint job I've ever seen on a guitar. All right, I'm going to limit this to paint job, not flames. Okay? And I think it might be the guitar I just linked you, that I showed earlier on the stream. I'll show it again in case you guys weren't here. It would be between 2 guitars. Okay, let's see if this one's still for sale. I'm not sure if it is. It might have sold. Did it finally sell? Oh, it's gonna make me so sad. A guitar I was never gonna buy because it was too much money. It did sell. It was a frost blue Gibson ES345. It's not there anymore. But outside of that, if you can't tell, I'm biased towards the color blue. I will load up the guitar that we started the stream off with. Oh my god, my entire watch list is crazy right now. Because I've been clicking on all these guitars while I was streaming with you guys. This guy. Come on, give me a full body picture. You can do it. Why wouldn't you just give me a full body picture of this? Is Taos Turquoise Fenders. They are my sweet spot. That is my favorite color ever on a Fender instrument. You got me to click it again. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's my favorite paint job. That's to die for. To die for. But not to die for $4,700. We're not beating a dead horse. We're clicking out of it. We're done. We're done. We're not looking at that guitar anymore. I'm not buying it. Not doing it. Okay. Let me see. What's the model number? The model number of which one, Tim? Oh. Of the modern ones? Yeah, John 5. That guy and his collection. A little excessive. But if I had that kind of money, would I do the same thing? Would you do the same thing? Can't blame the guy. And at least he can play. So good for him. I have not a negative thing to say about Mr. John 5. Great player. Seems like a decent enough dude. But that's going to be where I'm going to leave you guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this hourly stream that we do every single Thursday. Tomorrow's video is a guitar review. I'll tell you that. And it's the guitar that's showing up today. So we'll see what it is. It was requested by a bunch of people. But I don't think you'll be shocked when you see what it is. I'll let you figure it out. But you will see tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. I will have the unboxing of it and all that fun stuff filmed. So we'll be good. 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, we'll have another guitar to review. That should be fun. So thank you for watching the stream. I'm going to sit back now, timestamp it. James, all the boys, Tim, Mike, Dan, Andrew, all the regulars, Rowan, you crazy, you nutcase, and Gavin, now I know your name. Gavin in high school. Have a good rest of your day, everybody. Take care.